Hey guys, another installment of Be a Bio here. Some of you might have seen my recent writing, or actually plagiarism, although it's not intentional plagiarism, from my teacher Gabriel Cousins. And he's writing about, it's in his book Conscious Eating from the year 2000, about the role that light plays in our nutrition. So I went out today, maybe I can read you a little bit more about it. Here's another one of his books. It's probably backwards, but it's Spiritual Nutrition. And you have to, I guess, as an introduction, I won't repeat myself, or I won't repeat what Gabriel wrote, because it's fairly easy to grasp the idea of this, the light forces in our physical foodstuffs as they translate into nutrition for our bodies. But in this book, Spiritual Nutrition, it gives a little bit more of the, I guess, details about it. So what he says on page 217 is, under delicious sunlight, another important source of the life force is sunlight. Light is the least dense form of prana, or life force, in our universe. It carries the full spectrum of rainbow stimulation to our system as it filters through the subtle bodies and is taken in by nervous system receptors in the eyes and skin. The nerve receptors in the eye translate this full spectrum information into optic nerve impulses that conduct it to the various brain centers, pineal, pituitary, and the rest of the endocrine system. So hopefully it's not all new news to you, and you can find these kinds of parallels in, I don't know if you're going to Google search stuff or look up stuff online. Through these systems, it indirectly energizes and activates our whole organism and regulates body cycles and rhythms. It was once generally held that humans are immune from the cyclic hormonal regulating effects of light as seen in lower animals, in which the visible spectrum regulates the reproductive cycle and other daily and seasonal rhythms. Brodie cites, some doctor named Brodie, that research by Dr. Alfred Louis, a psychiatrist at the National Institute of Mental Health, has disproved this assumption. He has shown that exposure to a bright light can turn off the production of melanin in humans. That's pretty exciting. He and others have done exciting research, what was I saying, to show that light therapy is a specific treatment of choice, for example, for seasonal affective or disorder, SAD. And in case you're not familiar with that, people with SAD, seasonal affective disorder, become, or SAD for short, become depressed as the days get shorter. They become irritable, sleepy, anxious, socially withdrawn, and disinterested both in work and in play. Exposing them to ultra-bright lights 3 hours each morning and evening, or 5 hours in the evening, alleviated their symptoms in 2 to 4 days, etc., etc. Yeah, and there's a little bit more as well in the end. Talks a lot more about it, but I don't think it's going to be very fruitful to read you all that stuff, but I'll read you the ending of that section there. Currently, it is estimated that humans need about 30 minutes of sun per day to maintain good health. Hello, Irish sun. During the summer, it's best to sunbathe in the morning or late afternoon. During winter, sunbathing is best done at midday. Avoid using sunscreen at this time, and since a major entry point of sun energy into our system is through the eyes, it's best not to wear glasses, contacts, or sunglasses during this time. Although the eyes are the major entry point, the more we get a complete sunbath on our skin, the more sun energy is absorbed. How's that? A reason to sunbathe. It is even possible that the red blood cell, hemoglobin, in our capillaries at the surface of the skin absorbs sunlight directly, just as the chlorophyll in a plant does, and that these energized hemoglobin biomolecular structures could be directly taking this sunlight energy to the rest of our system. So meanwhile, you're thinking, well, how can I implement this into my daily kind of diet and stuff? Well, what I've done is the classifications of food as outlined by Dr. Gabriel Cousins is, I can't remember the other ones, but the highest type of food is biogenic, the kind of food that will regenerate and rejuvenate your body system. And these are all the living foods. So if you think about organic produce, vegetables and fruits that have been flown in from elsewhere, they're not in the biogenic spectrum. They're further down the line, where they have life force, but it's a bit dulled because of the transport and because of the long time from harvest, from being cut off from their life force, their life source rather, the soil and that. So instead, the biogenic sources of food, and of course it goes further down the line. I think there's 4, the lowest one being I can't remember the name of it, but it's something like the ones that definitely do not contribute to regenerating your body. Things that are like classified as junk foods. They're not really foods, as Dr. Cousins cites. It's more just like junk, just like deep fat fried, things like that, and yeah, things that don't contribute, that actually contribute to degenerating your system and aging you faster and sending you to the grave faster. So what I thought I could do, besides sprouting stuff, was picking the live wild foods in my area. So I'm just going to show you what I got today. So here's my shopping bag, and I've been going around town, and well, not just town, but wherever I can find wild places, and just trying to work this in. So I'll show you what I got. First off, whoa, at this place. Okay, this is not totally wild because I've been working in the kitchen in town. I've learned to make plastic my friend once more. So in here, because a friend of mine who's a herbalist suggested that plantain would be a good source of nutriment for me, particularly. It's not for everybody now. I picked some, and she specified. That's Tara Roach of Imba's Herbs and Healing, based in East Clare. Lovely yoga teacher as well. She specified this Plantago lanceolate, the long-leaved plantain, or it's not the fat one anyway. So I got lots of those. I got lots of baby plantain there, as well as dandelion, which I normally wouldn't be mad about dandelion, because simple reason is I'm not sure which ones are I've been a bit lazy about studying which are the real dandelions, and I love all the other wild herbs. I've just been lazy about really making it my mission to know which the real dandelions are. So lots of baby dandelions, as you can see here. And then our good old favorite from the garden. But this guy, I tried to get as many of these that were escaping from the garden, so they were kind of wild and not like cushied up and soft up in the garden beds as possible. These nasturtium leaves, which have something in them that makes them spicy, like watercress, which is a blood purifier, blood cleanser. So our lovely nasturtium leaves, which become very they dissolve very quickly, so I picked a lot of them. I'm going to throw them onto something that cuts them up so that I can macerate it in oil. That means steep. So I'm going to make a pesto out of all this because that's the easiest way. So I'm going to do it now. I'm going to try not to leave it so that it gets old, And there's some fennel. But the main things were the dandelion and the plantain. That's what I had today. And then I really love these, but I've been, again, really lazy about having them since kind of takes a bit of. So these are good old nettles, Ortica dioica, and yeah, they sting, but they're not stinging me now. So I picked all of these guys. My friend Alan O'Rourke in Cork says he can just eat them up raw as is, and he even told me how to do it. The secret doctrine, but I'm not going to do it because I'm a bit lazy, or at least I'm going to do it with Alan. So stay tuned for that one. Now, so got lots of nettles today. Really happy about that. Throw them into my pesto as well. And then I've been playing around with this key lime pie that is made in Package Cafe where I was working. And he makes a beautiful blueberry tart, but the blueberries are all, sorry to say this now, but they're frozen and probably not organic. But anyway, and even if they were, they'd be really dear. So I actually have frozen some blueberries. This is becoming a real plug for East Clare anyway. My friend Dee Dee at Sunrise Bakery, Farm and Bakery in Ashram, and she's also a great yoga teacher. She had loads of great blueberries, and I took loads of them and I froze some, so I'll have some to use. But look what we can use. Now the advantage of making a blue or purple or red pie is that the color. It's all in the color, right? The key lime pie will discolor due to oxidation because, it's going to be exposed to the air sooner or later. So that's lovely. Wild blackberries, not from any garden. free on the side of the road. When you hitchhike, you can just pick some if you have your friendly lunch boxes with you. I guess I did carry all these today in my bag.